Hello again. So tonight's video is writing whole numbers as fractions. Make sure you put that in the topic part of your notepaper. Let's begin. Right here I have two wholes. Now to write them as a fraction, I would have to figure out how many parts is in one, and that would be my denominator, and then I would have the total number of parts on the top. So for example, this whole only has one part, so my denominator is a 1. But I have to figure out how many I have altogether. So when I count, I have 1, 2, so I have 2 over 1, which would also equal to 2. That was easy. Let's try a different one. Let's say I now have the same amount, but I'm splitting them in half. Now I need to look at how many parts is in just one of these shapes. So I'm looking at how many parts, and if I count, I have 2 parts in 1. So my denominator is now a 2, and I have to now count the total number of parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now my fraction is 4 over 2, which also equals to how many wholes? If you look, how many wholes do I still have? I still have 2. So 2 is my whole number. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to split it one more time. And now I can look at my wholes and see how many parts they have. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 in just one. So my 4 should go as the denominator. And now I need to count my total number of parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 over 4, which now equals to the same amount of wholes. I still have 2 wholes. Okay, so now remember, you also can make models to show a whole number as a fraction, and if you are stuck on how to make one, then this is going to be a very helpful tip. So make sure your models are always the same size. As the most important part. And when I look at this one, I have 3 holes, which is easy to see. I'm not trying to trick you. There are 3 holes here, but they're all split into a smaller part. They are into 1/3, okay? So if I look at this one, I can see that it's cut into 3 pieces. So that is going to be my denominator. But remember, I have to count all of the pieces to find out what it is to make the whole number. So if I count all the pieces, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or I could have easily done, there's 3 pieces times 3 holes. I would have found that there's 9. Now, this 9 over 3 is equal to 3 holes. Okay. Another way to figure this out, if you actually look at this fraction right here, it's like how we simplify, but now our biggest number is on the top. So if we look at our biggest number, we can see how many times does the 3 go into 9. That's going to tell us how many holes it is. So it is actually 3 times 3 would equal to 9. So again, there are 3 holes. Remember, it's very important that when you make a model that they are the same size. Now, what if I told you that this person only used this amount of the models, okay? I look and I can see visibly that there is 1 hole here, and there is 1 hole here. So that's my second one. But wait, there's some that aren't used up. So we have to also be able to write this as a fraction. So if I look at this and I'm asking you how many is shaded in, I could write this as a fraction still. So I know that 1 whole is cut into 3 pieces. So again, 3 is still my denominator, but now I'm only counting the shaded in part. So if I do that, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now 7 is going to go up on the top. This is not an even whole. All right, I'll repeat. This is not an even one. This would not come out to 3. It would not come out to 4. It would come out to a partial fraction. Okay, so it would be a whole and then a partial fraction. This is beyond what you're going to need to be doing now, but I figured it's important to show you what you are going to see in your future. So I've now used models to show wholes and how to make a fraction into a whole. Next, we're going to do a number line as well. So, here is my number line. I'm going to start it from 0, and I'm going to go to 2. Now, I can do this and split the number line up, and it's going to also give me a fraction to make a whole. The number line is going to show me equivalent fractions that would be equivalent to a whole. So it's obvious that when I split this up, okay, from here to here, it is split into 4 sections. So I have 1 over 4, 2 over 4, 3 over 4, and 4 over 4. If I look at this, I know from right here that 4 over 4 is equal to 1 whole. So here's my 1 whole. I'm actually going to move this guy over here and right here. Now, this I am going to split into fourths again. Okay, so now I have 5 over 4, 6 over 4, 7 over 4, and 8 over 4. Now I see that 8 over 4 is equivalent to 2. It's the same thing. So 2 is equal to 8 over 4. So you can see that a fraction can also represent a whole number. So notice that each whole number has an equivalent fraction and the denominator is still 4. So you see all these denominators are still 4 because that's how many pieces are in between 0 to 1. Okay, so if I had only 3 pieces, my denominator would be into 3's. I want you to make sure that you have taken notes. Even if you draw out the things that I drew out, that is taking good notes because it's helping you visualize exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so here is your practice problem for tonight. Use the models to write a fraction equivalent to 4. So in the practice problem section, you need to write the fraction that's going to be equivalent to 4 using this model. Remember, when you're doing this, the denominator of your fraction is going to be the number of parts in one of these, okay? So the number of parts in one whole. So remember, that's going to be the denominator. I want you to have the fraction in the practice problem section, and if you have work to show, you can put it in there or you can put it on the back, whichever is going to be easier for you. Any questions you have, of course, write them in the box for questions I have. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.